Welcome to operating system class. In our last class, we talked about paging, and now we are about to discuss the structure of uh, various page tables and its organization. Okay, so frames equals to page size, and that it is going to be managed by the memory management unit, and the briefing how a protection is going to be made up, and how a translation look aside buffers is going to be made up. So all these aspects, they are going to be taken up as paging in our earlier class. So now we will little bit extend this paging towards a word called as shared pages. Towards a word called as shared pages. So let us recollect the process synchronization problem, where we are going to call a critical section is there. Before that, we lock the process, and thereby we unlock the process. The reason why, because it is going to have some shared variables, and when accessing a shared variable, at most only one job needs to handle that. That is what we talked about, a shared content, etc. Quite a bit a similar way of approach is now again practiced, where we are now introducing a word called as reentrant code, where we are going to use a word called as reentrant code. Now assume that I have written a simple program. Scanf A need not be correct, and scanf B, that means my intention was to accept some code, and C is equals to some A plus B, and printf C. I'm not taking care of the syntax or mnemonics or the language construct. This is all only for your explanation. Fine. And then I made this procedure fixed, and I call this one as some add.c. Now I am moving this to three terminals: terminal 1, terminal 2, and terminal 3. I am moving this code to three terminals. So in first person, sitting on the terminal 1, he may supply A equals to 10, B equals to 20. Another person may supply code A equals to 15 and B is equals to 25. And another person sitting on this terminal 3, he may take up the word 40 or 60. Obviously, in all the aspects, obviously, in all the aspects, the content is going to be not changed. That means the data is going to be different. The data what we are going to supply was different, and code is common. Code is going to be common. So there is no change of code. Based upon the inputs, we get the outputs. So what is different here? Code is common and data is different. Now, code is going to be fixed and it is bifurcated to different people on different terminals. They don't modify the code. They don't modify the code. Code is not modified. Only thing was people, they modify the data. So that is where we are going to call this as a reentrant procedure, nor we are going to call it as reentrant code. So the single code now using the concept of some multi-programming or multitasking, it is given to different terminals and different people, they do have the different applications for the same piece of the code. So the takeaway of this content was code will not be getting updated. Only the supplying values is going to be changed. So let us look in this shared code, and this code is going to be a read-only, and it is going to be shared to multiple processes, and they do use it with editors, they do use it with compilers, and they work with different type of Unix or Linux or Windows operating systems. And it need not be a thread at a single point to point. It is can be bifurcated with the concept of some multi-programming. It is going to be bifurcated with the concept of multi-programming, and it is purely supporting the IPC, that is nothing but the inter-process communication. So when we are going to take up the inter-process communication, they can be shared using message passing, nor they are going to be using the shared memory concept. So shared pages, now they are going to use the shared code. They are going to use the shared memory. The common memory is there, and this memory can be shared with process P1, can be shared with process P2, can be shared with the process P3. And here we can have a global copy of code, and it is going to be shared to the local process. We are going to call that, and that is the way applicate. So when taking up the shared pages, we do a support mechanism toward parallel processing, parallelization with this communication, and thereby the data what we are going to supply, that data is going to be a code which it is going to be illustrated. Now, taking up this example, we have a process P1, and every process do have its own page table. Every process do have its own table. So this is what towards the right hand side we are going to call this as a physical address space. So in this physical address space, the items are going to be stored in forms of frames. Now here we are going to call the virtual address space. So in this virtual address space, we have these items called as pages here. So we have editor 1, editor 2, editor 3, and one set of data here. So data 1, data 2, and data 3. So ED1, ED2, ED3, they are going to be common for process P1, process P2, and process P3 process. And each process has local data, that is data 1, data 2, and data 3. So as far as shared pages are going to be concerned, these shared pages will be E1, E2, ED1, ED2, and ED3, and local data will be some D1, D2, and D3. So we have a page table for process P1, and it is going to map up with the editor with 3, 4, and 6, and similarly 3, 4, and 6, 3, 4, and 6 at process P1, process P2, and process P3. In all these three aspects, the frames, what we are going to assume here, is going to be situated in 3, 4, and 6. We have editor 3, we have editor 1, and we have editor 2. Next, every process is going to have its local copyright. So this is data 1, data 2, and data 3. So data 1 is mapped to the first frame. Data 3 is mapped to the second frame. Data 2 is mapped to the third frame, seventh frame. So in seventh frame, we have data 7. In second frame, we have data 3. And in first frame, we have data 1. So going back to this definition part, so a shared page or a shared code, it is going to support a read-only memory or a read-only copy where the procedure can be re-executed many times. So that's the reason why it is going to be called as reentrant pages, shared pages. And multiple process can concurrently use that item, and thereby they are going to be utilized as a shared pages in degree of multiple. And they are going to support the concept of inter-process communication, where this shared memory is going to be. And all the process, they are going to be assumed as a threads. When thread is going to be concerned, it has code, stack, data, and stack extra. So extras, it takes up the pointers and indexes. Stacks uses to execute the code. Data, every process has its own set of data. So we say it is private code or a private data, and followed by the shared read-only content. That is what a reentrant procedure, which we are going to call it as code block. So this code block can be common to the process which are using the read operation. After shared pages, there are approaches to design up the page table. There are a lot of approaches which are going to be designed. Few of them will be the hierarchical, hash page, and index page tables. The structure of a page table, now it is going to be taken up in a levels of granularity into a 2-level page content. Then we are going to assume it as an hierarchical. So it is with level 1, level 2. So if, for an example, if I'm going to say country, what will be the next level? The province or a state. What will be the next level? The district. And what will be the next level? The towns, villages, whatever it is. So when I am going to call it as a hierarchical paging, it says from country to state and state to district, from district to the place. So in this way, different levels are going to be organized or decomposed, and the data is going to be proportionately, relatively organized either in a top-down approach or a bottom-up approach. So the same concept was now used as a part of this hierarchical paging. Second one was the hashing code is going to be accustomed to the page table, where a hash function is used, and via hash is going to be achieve this and to have faster and effective such mechanism, hash should be implemented, and this is order of a linked list, and it is going to point out with some process ID and followed by the process. So both of them, they are going to be both of them, they are going to take up its form of a chains, and using a linked list concept, the page table is going to be link up from the logical memory towards the physical memory. Similarly, the searching mechanism, if there is the extension of the address space is very vast, very huge. That is, if it is going to be some 2 power 32, nor it is going to be some 2 power 12. In this case, the extensions need not be supported with the conventional system at that time. Instead of taking all the addresses process page table, it is going to take up only the process table feature and take up only the elements, and it is going to construct an index for it. That it is going to have some process ID and process the process but um, uh, uh, and the process. So all to it is going to be treated as a file, and in inverse way, a page table is going to be organized. There we talking about index file organization. We have this, and it is going to be considered some 32 bits of a local address space is going to be there, and the page size is going to be 4 KB, and it is more than that. I mean, organization may prefer to do it page table. So at this time, the improved version of the page table, that is with the hierarchy this index generally of the content. Fine. Let us take towards the first item, that is nothing but the hierarchical page table. So the definition itself is going to take up. It is going to be a simple technique with two-level page table. The first difference will be activated from this line. So that means I do have a page, and it is going to be broken up into different segments here. So this is some page table and page table. So instead of it, what it is going to do is it is going to break up the logical address space into multiple pages. So the affection, it is going to have some two appropriate entities, and thereby it is going to link up the area where it is going to be spread up. So at one location, one set of information is there, and another set of information, another set of information is there, and overall it is going to build up an index here. It is going to build up a index, and that and the second level and the second level, what it is going to be illustrated will be the inner page table. So as far as hierarchical page table is going to be concerned, it is going to break up the logical address spaces into multiple tables, and it is going to use some two-level paging tables concepts. So here is an illustration where a paging level is going to be assumed here. So the outer page table, earlier every process is going to be inside this table, and second thing was the page table is going to be implemented in the main memory. The page table, it is going to be implemented in the main memory, and now the page table and every process is going to have some page table entities. And other thing was the things which are going to be with the equality, that is the page is equals to frame size. So now it is going to act as some index here. So that is assumed as some outer page table. So now you can see the first page table is going to be spread up from 1 to 500. Second page table was spread up from 100 to 708, and third page table it is going to be assumed as some 900. So 929 to 900. So 929 is a page, 900 is a page, 100 is a page, 709 is a page, 1 is a page, and 500 is a page. And in between the dots, they are going to represent the multiple pages here. So we have a page table, and this page table, it is going to have a sub page tables. So that is what we are going to reciprocate here. So it is going to be 1, 2, and n, and all of them, they are going to be represented as pages of page table. Now there is a mapping mechanism. Now there is a mapping mechanism which it is going to be organized, that is one through the things in the main memory. So, and similarly, it is the first page table. This is what we are going to call it as a page table. So this is what we can say, collection of some page tables here. So we say it is going to be collection of page tables, and it is divided into a granularity here. So the second one, it is going to organize between 100, and it is going to end up with some 708, and third one, it is going to begin at some 928, and it is going to be starting at some 900. So the spread of the table is again represented, and you can see the beginning of a table and ending of a table is going to be marked between these two level of items. So how does an address is going to be found when we are going to be implementing this two-level paging concept? The next scenario is how we are going to incorporate the two-level paging scheme at this taken up with a word. It is going to be taken up with a word. We are going to assume it as some process P2 and D. So three items are going to be inside a representation of every entity. So every entity in a page table, every entity in a page table is going to happen with P1, P2, and D. So here P1, it is going to represent the outer page table, and implicitly P2 is going to be the displacement. Implicitly P2 is going to be the displacement of outer page table. Implicitly P2 is going to be the displacement after the outer for loop. Now if I am going to take up this P2 and P3 at this instance, now P2 comma D, they are going to be represented with the inner page table. They are going to be representing the inner page table. So if I do have some 32-bit item, 10 bits are going to be for P1, 10 bits for D2, and some 12 bits are going to be distributed for the displacement alias offset. So I just displayed this one item. So the first item we are going to assume here. So the first item, it is going to take up 10, 12, and 10. So total it is going to deal up with 32 bits. So P1 it is going to hold 12 bits, P2 is going to hold 10 bits, and D is going to hold some 10 bits here. So that is what we are going to write up. So page number P1 is occupying 12 bit, page P2 is occupying some 10 bit, and the offset, or we are going to call it here as some displacement, it is going to occupy some 12 bit. So obviously we do represent with the 32-bit representation of an address. So we do representing the 32-bit representation of an address, and we are going to have a page size of some 1 KB. We do have this page size as 1 KB, and the page number, it is going to have some 22 bits, that is 12 plus 10, it is going to get this 22 bits, and the offset or displacement, it is going to be of some 10 bits. So one we are going to get it as 22 bits, another we are going to get it as 10 bits. Second thing, the first element, it is going to have a composition of 12 and 10. So when I'm going to talk about the inner table, when I'm going to talk about the inner table, now P1 is going to be assumed as a page number and P2 is going to be assumed as a displacement. When I am going to talk about the outer index or outer page table, so P1, it is going to be some page number index, and P2 it is going to be assumed as some displacement. P2 is going to be assumed as a displacement for this process. So how we are going to translate this address scheme is a challenge here. So as mentioned, the items are going to be mapped to the outer for loop with process P1. Then they are going to be mapped with the process. Then they are going to be mapped with the second page table P2 here. So P1 and P2 at this case, it is going to occupy 12 and 12, that is 22 bit is going to be taken up, and this it is assumed as displacement, So at this case, we take P1 and P2. So P1 is going to be treated as a page number and P2 is going to be treated as a displacement or an offset. But as far as P2 is going to be concerned here, P2 is going to be treated as a page number and D is going to be displaced as a displacement. So here we don't have some, there is no verification of P1, there is no verification of P2 because P1 and P2, they are already mapped. So that is the reason why we are not going to consider P1 and P2 at this point. So altogether, a logical address is going to be some 32 bit. P1 is going to occupy 12 bit. P2 is going to occupy 10 bit, and displacement is going to add for 10 bits. So the first 22 bits, they are going to point out to the outer page table. They are going to point out to the outer page table, and the next one, that is P2 and D, they are going to point out to the inner page table. So that is the key takeaway of this slide here. Yeah. So we talked about the different illustration which was given for the two-level paging. So the basic drawback of a page table was if the entities are going to be large, and obviously it may not fit up towards a good optimal way of representing the data in pages and frames. For that, they are going to break up the pages tables into different blocks, into different sets. So that is where we are going to call that one as some hierarchical paging. So the logical address space, what we are going to be assumed, it is going to be broken up into some multiple pages. So for that, we can see here the outer for loop, outer page table, it is going to be assumed as an index, and it points out to the multiple page tables which are organized in the inner page table, and every table, it is going to have the beginning and ending of each page location. So it is going to be organized in two-level way. And how an entity is going to be notified in this page example was, the entity is going to be notified one with the outer table and another one with the inner table. So inner page table. So when we take up this outer table, then we are going to assume it as some 12 plus 10, that is P1 and P2, they point out to the outer page table. And the second thing was P2 and D, they are going to directly point out to the inner page table. So that is how the first way of representing the way of the page table towards the hierarchical way. Yeah, now we are going to end up the class. Thank you for joining.